Jared Ginsberg here at Class Act Sports. We welcome back Victor Green, a former NFL safety, 10 years played for the New York Jets. Vic, what happened with that 45-3 shellacking on Monday night? New England taking care of the Jets.
Hey man, this I'm still trying to get over this loss. 45-3. The Jets really didn't have an answer for the Patriots last night. Hopefully they can rebound this week for against Miami and look for a brighter day. But last night, I think Rex talked about it. The best he could last night. They took a whipping last night. Nothing they can do about it.
Well, Victor, have you ever experienced a loss of this magnitude going in with such high expectations?
Never. I mean, even in our worst days, 1-15, and I remember those days like yesterday. We never lost a game like this. I mean, we was always in the game, even till the fourth quarter. And having taken a beating like this, 45-3, I can't remember the last time the Jets even taken a loss like this. So it was very embarrassing for the organization, for the fans, and just something that you really don't want to look back on.
Well, maybe you can't speak on it personally then, since your team never got whooped like that. But where do the Jets go from here? How does the rest of the team find a way to bounce back the next game and for the rest of the season?
Well, I think they coaching got to be better. Obviously, the players got to come out and play better. But more importantly than that, I think they really got to forget about this game. They got Miami coming up, who really not going to care about the loss. They're going to come in and trying to get a win themselves. So they really just got to forget about this one, trying to find a way to correct the mistakes they had against New England and play a better, a sounder football game going into Sunday because they lose this game here. New England win, down two to go. I don't think this is a position the Jets want to get in. So this is a big game for them. They may not say a do or die, but it's a critical game on Sunday.
Oh, there is no doubt there. Speaking about Miami, though, a coach that I'm really big on, Tony Sparano, an intense guy. He always has his team playing hard. He just deals with the chips that are falling. He doesn't have the best team year in, year out. However, he always makes them competitive since going down to Miami. Why is his name on the discussion or on the hot seat for potentially being let go after the season?
Well, he was one of Parcells' personal picks, and Parcells is no longer per se with the organization, but they just so inconsistent. It's a production business, and if you don't go out there and win consistently, I think Josh McDaniels can contest to that of being fired yesterday. But you got to win, and you got to get your players to play to a certain level, and I think he's doing that for the most part. But he got to stay consistent. There's too many win loss, and they got to put a couple of wins together. And I think his job should be safe after the season.
Well, now switching over to New England. They really took care of things last night. They're 10-2. Left on their schedule, they're going to Chicago, then they come home versus Green Bay. They go back out to Buffalo, and then they finish at home against Miami. Other than Green Bay, do you really see them having a chance, or possibly even if they beat Green Bay, winning the rest of all four games and winning that division? Is there a
Well,
chance?
the way they played last night, I'm telling you, they can win them all if they continue to play like they did last night and execute the way he did. I don't see anyone beating New England. Obviously, anything can happen as any given Sunday. But they played really well last night, and the last couple of weeks they played really well. But New England, just like they played against Cleveland, you really can't discount any NFL team, even Buffalo. They have an opportunity. We saw what they did against Pittsburgh, almost beating them at the end there. But they just got to continue to stay humble as they did coming into this Monday night game last night against the Jets. And I think if they can do that, they can take care of business. Tom Brady, cool hand Luke there, Belichick, who's the best in the league there. They're going to have an opportunity to win every game.
And we spoke about Devin McCourty at halftime, and then there he goes with his sixth interception of the season.
Yeah.
He just continues his almost veteran-like ways.
Yeah, he really come into his own. We spoke briefly about him last night, and then second half he came up with a big interception. This guy's going to be a pretty good football player. to be a rookie and having 6 interceptions, possibly may have an opportunity to the Pro Bowl. I think that was a great pick. And that's just another thing to say about Belichick. He find those guys to play within his system. He's a good football player, he's a smart football player, and a physical guy. And those are all the traits that Belichick look for.
Absolutely. And I'm surprised I let this go this long, but I see you wearing a little Jets attire. I have to say that's the first Jets uni or anything Jets that I've seen all day after the beating they took last night. What's that about, Vic?
Hey, man, I got to bleed the green and white, man. You know, I played there for a long time. I still believe in the team, and they have a good football team, man. And, yeah, I wanted to come out. I was at the gym today, had my Jets workout gear on. It was like, wow, you're a bold guy to be wearing that today after that beating you took last night. So I was like, hey, you know, we all have our days, and I think they'll bounce back. I think Rex and the crew there have the guys ready to play against Miami. And, you know, I'm a Jets fan. I'm sure the true Jets fans out there, they're going to continue to support the team, and, you know, I got to do the same thing.
Oh, I'm with you there. And, you know, going into the season, I had them as a top 5 team in the NFL, and I still have them there. Their defense appears to be getting exposed. Obviously, the loss of safety Jim Leonard going down, Eric Smith getting exposed a bit. You know, that's going to be a tough void to fill for the rest of the season. They're not going to have great safety play for the rest of the season. But where do they go from here to shore up that defense a little bit?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the pickings are slim out there right now that's on the street. They're going to have some difficulty down the street, down the road there. Like I said, Miami, you know, they second, third receivers. You know, you got to put Coleman, you got to bring Lowry in the slot. Those guys going to obviously, you know, have some trouble going down the slot there. So I don't know where they go. I mean, they just got to, the guys that's filling in, they got to step up and play some good football, or it's going to get ugly for them down the stretch here.
Vic, I heard your phone ringing. Maybe that's the Jets trying to pick you up to play safety.
Let me check.
So, you know, as far as the Jets go, and for any team for that matter, that's why it's important in the NFL just to not get too high, not to get too low, to have an even keel about things. And you know, it really was just one game. It's just one loss, as bad as it was. You know, in Showtime, Monday night, lights are on. They got embarrassed. But I think they could almost use it as an incentive or even motivation for the rest of the season. And it may actually be a learning experience and actually help them going into the playoffs.
Well, I think they just got to stop talking and go play football now. I mean, I think they see the team's not going to lay down for them because of the hard knocks and the, you know, the cockiness attitude. They still got to play football. You know, they got to go out there and play. And I think we talked about, you know, the other day, it's okay to talk, but you got to go back it up because nobody's going to lay down, especially a football team like the Pats. You know, they got to play. But I think they got to have amnesia now. They gotta realize that they got beat down, and they gotta get ready to play Miami, or the same thing can happen. So they just gotta continue to play, forget about it, come out and have a good week in practice, a short week, and you know, I think they'll bounce back this week.
You know, last thing, Vic, and we spoke a little bit about this. Let's just talk about the running back play of the Patriots last night. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, not a big back, but he appeared to be steamrolling everyone on the Jets defense. And you also have Danny Woodhead, who had a nice little impact on the game. Talk about how Green Ellis is playing, as well as the addition of Danny Woodhead, and how a team like the Jets would let him go. How is that possible?
Well, you know, in the NFL, it's a numbers game, talking about Woodhead. And, you know, they had every opportunity, they had every intention of bringing him back. You know, they have a certain amount of numbers that they can bring back after camp. I think he was one of those guys, but he cleared waivers. Patriots obviously realized his talent and what he can bring to that football team. And they missed out. They lost on him. And when you gamble, sometime you lose. And that's what the Jets did. And speaking about, you know, Green Ellis there, he's a workhorse. You know, he's not going to go out and rush for 150, 160 yards, but he's going to get those tough yardage. He's going to run over those players. And again, the guy got 10 touchdowns already. So he's one of the top touchdown leaders in the NFL. So they got a good group of young guys that plays hard. that fits Belichick's scheme, and they just going to continue to get better within that system.
Oh, absolutely. Vic, last point on Woodhead. Do you think it's almost a situation where they grabbed Joe McKnight in the third round because they wanted him a little bit for special teams and to play third down back, but then they wound up getting the Tomlinson deal situated. Next thing you know, they find out that Woodhead can be that back for them, but it's almost like they don't want to part ways with someone they just drafted in the third round. So touch on the fact that should a team part ways with a player that they just drafted before he even stepped foot on the field, or what do you do in that situation?
Again, man, it's a gambling situation. You want to go with the unknown, and sometime over the proven. You're getting a younger guy or a younger guy that they feel that can come in and get it done on an every down basis. Obviously, they didn't think Woodhead was that type of guy that they can put out there and be a consistent back for him. So obviously they missed on that one. The running back that they drafted, he's not going to be a bad back. I think he's going to be a pretty good back. But sometimes, like I said, when you gamble, you lose. And this was a situation where they took a gamble and they lost on Woodhead. And, Rudy, he's one of those Rudy type of guys. And everybody's going to root for him and cheer for him right now. And rightfully so. He's been doing a great job for them.
All right, Vic, thanks a lot for your time. Thank you for joining us at Class Act Sports. Until then, the next time when we're talking all things football. I'm Jared Ginsberg. You're watching Class Act Sports.
And this is Victor Green. You're watching Class Act Sports. Join us next time.